Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is a little bit after 3 o'clock Central Standard Time, so y'all know what it is. This is another episode of Book Talk Live, but today we got the, guess what, Coach's Edition, right? So if you've been paying attention for the past few months, actually for a little bit over the past year, um, we have actually been launching authors to Amazon bestseller status. To date, we are actually at 225 Amazon #1 best-selling authors. So today, I decided, you know what, let's take a break from the norm. We've had guests, we've had so many guests that were exciting, that were giving you so much information, and let's break it down to the basics, because a lot of you out there have been wanting to write your first book, been looking for the information on how do I get my first book done. What are the steps? How can I become the next bestseller? Right. And we understand. So we've heard your responses, and here you go. So get ready, grab your pen and pad, and let's take a little bit of a ride. Now, if you are tuned in with me, go ahead and just leave a comment, just say I'm here, do a wave, whatever it may be. That way we know that you're on with us. Because sometimes, just looking at the screen, it's like, is anybody there with me? So let's break it down. Most people, when they are looking at books, um, in order to become a bestseller, there are a few things that you really want to have in place. First thing, obviously, is going to be the presentation. What does that cover design look like? Don't if you got a friend that draws and that does basic Microsoft Word flyers, don't get them to do your book cover, because what that's going to do, and I've seen this a few different times, what that's going to do is it's going to put out an image that is not reflective of the excellence that you've actually put on the inside of the book. And believe it or not, people are actually judging a book by its cover. So three of our latest bestsellers right here, as you can see, 13 phenomenal ladies, all on one cover, solid black background, pink, beautiful cover. I'm actually proud of that one. Wifey did that one for us, Miss Shamir Bacon Destin. So definitely give her a shout out, salute, love you. Second one, My 911 Through In-Flight Eyes by Miss Terry Hornacek. It captures the moment. Flight 93, the American flag, we all were there. We all remember exactly where we were. And this cover captures the essence of Flight 93 and 9/11. Last one. This one, the authors chose their cover. They wanted the cartoon characters. They wanted the palm tree representing the resilience that they have actually been through so much. Now, if you were to look at any of those covers, you can tell that there is a professional touch to it. You can see the vision. You can see what everyone was trying to convey with that message. So that presentation is essential. It's important, because what that presentation says to somebody that's walking by, instead of them walking by and saying, oh, there's another book, they're going to walk by, they see book, and they look and they see this. And they say, wow, I need to grab a copy of that, because that person put some time and effort into that presentation. That's just the outer appeal of the book. Now, second thing that you want to make sure is good. We can go into back cover. I'll go into that really quick. Back cover. Make sure that as you are on your back cover, give them a little bit of detail about what's included inside of the book. And if it's a collaborative book, introduce the authors. Let them know who's going to be inside of it. So what is the book about? Who are the people inside of it? And any of the covers should have the exact same. It should be a little bit of a snippet about the book. If you have some professional or some what's the word I'm looking for? Some testimonials about how good the book is. Add that to the book, because it only gives more credibility to those people who are walking by, who are picking the book up for the very first time. They have not even went to the inside of your book. So the outside presentation brings them inside of the book. Now, fast forward a little bit. You got an amazing outside. The design looks impeccable. It looks amazing. It's ready to sell. Let's go to the inside of the book. And here is one of the first things that people are looking for: your grammar, your punctuation. Making sure that those simple steps, making sure that your grammar and your punctuation is at the level that you want to be represented. Um, we've worked with a lot of different authors, and I won't speak on any specific author's name, but I can tell you that there is a huge difference in the writing caliber of some of the writers versus the others. Now, here's where we made up the difference. We have great editors, and our editors go through line by line. And if you are doing the same, make sure that you get editors that are not. Don't go to your friend who just wrote a book and said they do editing, because guess what? A lot of authors don't like editing. I'm an author and I do not like editing, right? I have an amazing team that does that for me. Now, the editors, what should they be looking for? I'll give you the key things, the key elements inside of a book, because this is what's going to capture your audience's attention. Grammar. Make sure that your grammar is correct. Something as simple, and you'll see it on Facebook all the time, a difference between the homonyms: your versus your versus you are, there versus there, and there. There's three different words. It's not all the same word. Loss versus lost. Extreme difference. Now, it may not seem like something that people are paying attention to, but believe it or not, they are judging your work. And if you see too many of those type of simple errors, people are going to look at it. They're going to say, good Lord, why did this person even write this book? And they're going to put it down. Some people who love you and care for you will say, oh my God, this was an amazing book. Don't be fooled. Go back and make sure that you do your due diligence and find someone who can help you bring your grammar to another level. Write from a place of truth and transparency. Truth and transparency, right? A good reader is looking at your story, and they're looking for a few things inside of that story. They're looking to connect with the story. They're looking for facts. If it's a non-fiction book, then sometimes people will go back and do their fact checking on your story. If you are creating characters and you are giving them additional names or additional roles, make sure it's believable. Don't write from a place that you haven't been. The more transparent you are with your audience, the more they're going to connect with you. Currently we're reading a book inside of the Business of Books Mastermind Program group, and it's David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me. Now, if you've never heard the book or never read the book, the description and the way that he breaks the details of his book down are so transparent that you almost feel like you're there. You're walking through the pain that he went through. You're walking through the life that he went through, and it brings you into the group. It brings you into the book. Even if you've never experienced the things that he's experienced or he's talking about, he makes it so vivid and so clear for you that the description itself draws you in and makes you want more. You want to captivate your audience. You don't just want to tell them a story and think that they're inside your head. There's certain details that you want to break down for them. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? If you're talking about food, what does it taste like? What does it sound like? Use your five senses, because those five senses will connect to each reader on a different level, right? Gather your thoughts. Next step, gather your thoughts. Make sure your thoughts have a consistent flow. You don't want to leave breaks inside of your story. And what do I mean by breaks inside of your story? Um, 1 second you are 3 years old in your book. The next second you're 15. The next second you're back to 8 years old. Make sure that it has a consistent flow. If you're writing based on details, let the reader know when you are going back and forth, if you're going to jump in and out of memories within your book. Because again, those memories are allowing them to see something that you saw. But make sure that you aren't talking to them from a place of, I'm a grown up and I'm explaining something to you, and then you go back and there's no explanation of how you got there. Make sure that there are no breaks in your story. Walk them through a certain journey. So when we talk about gathering your thoughts, again, a timeline of events should be clear for your audience. If it's not a timeline of events, it should be a timeline of ideas, or a clear, consistent value for the ideas that you are sharing. And here's what I mean by that. If, for example, the next book that I'm releasing, and I'll start promoting that probably in 2 weeks because it'll be out in November. There is something that I am trying to help people through. I cannot start at the very top level and break that down for them and then go back to the basics level, right? When you are sharing consistent thoughts, you want to share it from, here's the beginning steps, here's the next step, here is the step that follows, here is the end result. Because as you do each one, there's a certain flow, there's a certain order that takes them from where they were to where you want them to be. The more clear you can get them, the clearer and the faster you can get them from where they are to where they want to be inside of your book. Now you're showing them results. And this is a different type of book. This is more of your self-help motivation books. Don't just write motivation and give them a bunch of fluff stories. Give them something that they can walk away with, something that they can learn from, and something that they can earn from. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually getting ready to take a quick break. Quick message from our sponsor, and we'll be back in about 2 and 2 with more on how to take you from being a beginning author to an Amazon best-selling author. Be back in 2 and 2.
Everybody has a story, and so do you. We know that you've been through life, been through heartaches, been through pain, been through depression. You've thought about writing your book for years, wanting to help change lives because of the things that you've overcome. We don't know what your story is, but we can help you turn your story into a living, breathing book that creates opportunities for you to impact lives and change the world. The business of books is here to teach you the opportunities that come from your book, how to write your book, how to brand yourself, how to market your book, and how to get in front of the right people to sell that book. We have an amazing team of designers, an amazing team of editors. We have a team behind you to help you get through your first book and get it to the world so that the world knows you are here. So remember, everybody has a story. It's time to write yours.
Wow, right? Over 200 authors and still going through trials, through tribulations, through it all. Now, as we are talking, what we've been talking about, if you are just now joining us, is how to write your first best-selling book. And I'm not just giving you the secrets on how we take people from launch to bestseller, but I'm actually giving you a little bit more about how to put that book together so that your book is not only does it connect with your audience, but it gives them enough that they want to come back for more. And here's the reason that I'm giving you the basics, because when you master the basics, what happens is more opportunities financially start to show up for you as an author, including speaking engagements, coaching opportunities. The list goes on and on and on. And I'll get into that on a different coaches edition. Now, we talked about the cover of the book. We talked about making sure that it is a professional cover, that you didn't go and get your 3-year-old to create a cover for you because you were in a rush. We talked about having a professional designer put that together. We talked about the about the author and about the book being some things that need to be on the back, or you can have a few testimonials for the back of the book. Now, on the interior, we are talking about writing from a place of truth and transparency. Talked just briefly, refer back to David Goggins' book. There's a few other amazing books that I can point you to where the authors are transparent. Either they're transparent or they're very descriptive, so they bring you into the story. The next thing was gathering your thoughts. Either there's a sequence of events that you're bringing people through, so it's event 1 that happened in chronological order, based on the dates, or you're talking about ideas based on windows, based on ideas that are going to take you from step 1 to completion and end result. Now, the next thing is you want to use different words than you are normally using, right? A lot of times we write like we talk, and most of us use a lot of filler words. We may say the word a lot. We may say the word a lot. We may say, you know what I'm saying, a lot. Depending on where you're from, there's going to be different words that you use to fill in. Now, instead of using those filler words, pull your thesaurus out. For those of you that are new to grammar, or that didn't have to go through school when I did, thesaurus is just a bunch of synonyms and antonyms and definitions of words. So if you find yourself saying the same word over and over and over again, go and look in that thesaurus, or even go on Google and look up synonyms for this specific word. The reason that you want to do that is because the audience is going to get bored, because it's lazy writing. If you're always using the same vocabulary words over and over and over again, some words mean something completely different. Instead of saying mad, say furious. Instead of saying sad, say devastated. Instead of saying happy, say joyful, or say zen. Use words that speak to different emotions, because those words are going to connect with your audience on a different level. The more you can use a different vocabulary, using different words in there to connect with the audience, what's going to happen is that now people are reading it and they're actually having an experience as they're reading. They're not just reading and you're telling a story where that story speaks a little bit to them. That story is now starting to connect with them because it's connecting with their emotions. Remember what we said earlier. Talk to, what does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What does it feel like? Use those senses when you're being descriptive. Paint pictures of different scenes inside of the book. If you talk about how you just went through the loss of a loved one, don't just say, you know what, in this moment, on such and such date, I lost so and so. Paint a picture. What did it feel like? What was that pain like for you? Describe that scene, because the more you are able to describe that scene, somebody else has went through something similar, and your words can either bring them into what you went through, or it can take them out of what they are going through. Either way it goes, you want to be able to connect with them on a much deeper level than just surface level. Think about it. The relationships that you have in your life are not surface relationships. Your best relationships are not surface. They're the ones where you can talk about just about anything. Most people, when they pick up that book, you become that friend that they've been looking for, because now you're sharing your life and your words with them. That's why some people pick up more fiction than nonfiction, because they're looking for their escape. If you're writing fiction, you definitely want to use more words that are invoking emotion, more words that are painting a picture, more imagery in your writing. Let's go to the audience. Most people, when we first meet as new authors, here's what I hear a lot. Who's the book for? Everybody. No, it's not. Because if that book is for everybody, nobody's going to read it. If that book is for everybody, nobody's going to read it, because you don't have someone specific in mind that you are trying to connect with. Now, here's what I want you to do. Take some time and think about, who specifically are you speaking to? Are you speaking to men? Are you speaking to young men? Are you speaking to older men? Are you speaking to women? Are you speaking to young women? Are you speaking to women that have been through divorce? Are you speaking to married women? Each one of these different characteristics or different groups has a different need that you're speaking to, right? Not only do you want to consider gender, but you want to consider some of the things like, what are they interested in? What are their hobbies? What is their age? An 18-year-old is going to have different problems from a 25-year-old, and their 25-year-old is going to have much different problems from a 40-year-old. And a 40-year-old is definitely going to have different problems than a 65-year-old. So think about age. Think about their financial background. Think about their social status. Think about their relationship status. Because again, each one of these people have different situations and different issues and different concerns. And so when you write from different places, or you're writing to a specific audience, now you should have a picture in your mind and have a conversation with them. Have a generic, not a generic, but have a specific conversation inside of your book with the people that you're writing to. Not lastly, because I still got a few more. Before we even get to the secrets. And I don't even know if I'm going to give y'all all the secrets, but I'm going to give you enough. Make it flow. Make it flow. Make sure that your writing flows, in a sense that they aren't just all over the place. And we talked about this earlier. You don't want to jump from one thought to a completely different thought to a completely different thought. Keep your thoughts consistent and keep them on a stream. Keep them moving in a certain direction. If it's a biographical work, which we do a lot of autobiographical work, make sure that it flows. Give them the timeline of events based on different things that you've experienced in your life. If it is a self-help book, again, make sure that the thoughts flow. Make sure that the things that you're sharing with them take them from step A to step B to step C to success. It wants to go from A to Z in a successful way. And here are the last two things, and I'm going to give you two really quick ones. Proofread your work before you send it off to your editors. I can't tell you how many times my editing team has gotten work and it was garbled. I didn't say it was garbage. I said it was garbled, meaning someone either used if they use a scribe, a voice to text device, they didn't go back and make sure that those sentences were making sense. So the editors are having to do additional work. They're not only having to proofread it, and they're not only having to edit it, they're also having to ghostwrite the work that they just received. Make sure that you go in and read over your work. Make sure that it makes sense to you, and you can take some time and do some due diligence. Like I said, make sure that your sentences are making sense, and not only that your sentences are making sense. If you want to go back, if there's certain regional jargon that you're using, regional jargon or slang that you use. In Texas, we say soda water, and in New York they say pop. Um, different slang meaning the exact same thing. In Texas we say y'all. In some places they say you guys. In some places they say use. It doesn't matter. Just check and make sure that your vocabulary is going to expand beyond your region, because you're not just writing for yourself, you're writing for the world. And once the world gets it, it's up to the world what they do and how they interpret it. So make sure that it has something. So look over it before you send it to your editors. And then find people in your area or in your circle that you can actually reach out to and say, hey, would you mind looking over this for me? I just want to get your feedback on this. Is this something that's going to impact you? Is this something that touches you? Is this something? What are your suggestions for this writing? Now, here's the thing. Make sure that the people that you're asking for suggestions are people that genuinely care about seeing you go to the next level, and not just people who want to throw their opinions in the bucket. Because there's a lot of people out there who've never written a book. And I'll say this publicly. There are people who have never written a book that are the most amazing writers ever. Notice my face, right? If you've never written a book, you don't understand how much work actually goes into writing a book. So as far as the writing quarterbacks that are sitting on the couch, tell them to go sit down somewhere. You gave them a specific job and a specific purpose. Now, if that writing quarterback is an English teacher, then absolutely listen to what they're saying, because they have more to offer. And trust me, degrees don't mean a thing when it comes down to writing. And no offense to anybody that's went out there and worked hard and grabbed those degrees and earned it, but we've worked with, again, people that have those degrees, but their writing was less than someone who didn't have a degree. So be careful where you get your input from, and make sure that it's people that would actually read the type of book that you're going to write, right? So if you notice that the person that you're asking for input is only reading sci-fi, and you give them an autobiographical book, they're not looking at it the same. Look for someone who reads those types of books. And a great place to find specified readers is just reach out to your social media. Hey, I'm working on my first book. I'd love to get some feedback. The first 5 people can get a copy of my pre-edited book. I'm just looking for feedback, but be specific when you talk to them and say, 1, this is not for you to share with everybody else, because it is something that I am going to be selling. 2, I'm looking for specific feedback. What are the things that I can improve upon? What are the things that I can change? What are the things that I'm doing well? And value their feedback. Thank them for their feedback, because they may actually, if they read it and it does have an impact, they're going to tell other people about it. That's how you start to build your tribe. Now, I've given y'all a lot on the inside of the book. I've given you a lot as far as what the cover should look like. I'm going to get some water. I've been talking for about 30 minutes straight. Take a quick break, and I will be right back with you again shortly. See you guys in about 2 and 2. When people hear that term, it's like entrepreneur. Most people say, I want to become an author, but they don't understand the business behind it. Now we're diving into the business behind it as well. There's people that are fighting right now. Your message is liberating those who are fighting it and going through hell. So it's important to know where your target market is, and you always want to continue to add value. And you feel like your book is going to do that? Did you hope so? Okay, there we go. Confidence. And we're not writing books. We're creating legacies. So get ready. Get your Aladdin cape and your Aladdin flying rug, because you're in a whole new world. So get ready. Get your flying rug. All right. Hey, listen, I'm back for the last segment. So we kind of went into a little bit of detail on what the outside of the book looks like, what the inside of the book should look like. Now, as far as what I just gave, that's just a high level overview of some of the things that you're looking for. If you are dead serious about writing your next book and becoming the next Amazon #1 bestseller, like I said, the last 225 authors that we've worked with have all went #1 on Amazon. So we don't brag and we don't boast about that because we want to. We brag and we boast because we actually have proof. We got receipts for this. So we can help you take your book from where you are, from just a thought, and turn it into an Amazon best-selling author, so that you can leverage that and turn that into something that gives you more credibility, opens up new and additional income opportunities for you, and builds additional income streams for you. So let's fast forward. We talked, like I said, we talked about the inside, we talked about the outside. Let's talk about what do you need in order to become an Amazon bestseller. And I'm not going to give you everything. Don't think I'm going to do that, right? But I will give you enough to make you dangerous, right? Now, when you are launching your book, there's a few different types of bestsellers, and I'm just going to give you the overviews of the bestsellers. There is the Amazon bestseller, which is based on a few things. Amazon bestseller is based on the categories, based on the niche, and it's going to be based on the number of units sold. Now, the number of units sold is going to be for a specified period. That can be anywhere from 2 to 24 hours, right? How do you get to where people are purchasing your book for 2 to 24 hours? I've seen a number of different systems. We have our own. I'm not giving you that. The second one is USA Today. USA Today bestseller is another type of bestseller where you are looking for a specific number of units in a specific period of time. For USA Today, it is up to 7 days, pretty much a week. You're looking at about 5,000 units sold. Now, those units sold have to be by, they can be on Amazon, they can be on barnesandnoble.com, they can be in bookstores. They have to be in a series of different places. It's not just in one location. So don't think you can go to Amazon, buy 5,000 units and say, hey, I'm a USA Today bestseller, because I've seen people that have bragged about being USA Today bestsellers, knowing good and well that they are not. Don't do that. Your credibility is worth more than some temporary achievement. When you are getting a USA Today bestseller, again, it's up to, I think it's about 5,000 minimum copies sold. You want to make sure that you're selling them online, you're selling them in bookstores, you're selling them places where people can actually measure it. Now, the next one is New York Times bestseller. New York Times bestseller is between 5,000 and 10,000 units sold. Again, must be in bookstores, must be online, a variety of different places where your books are sold all at the same time. Now, here's the difference between a New York Times and a USA Today. USA Today, you can be an independent self-published author. New York Times, you have to be with the Vanity Publishing House. What is a Vanity Publishing House? It's a publishing house that is recognized. So it is not just, I'm writing a book, I finally got my LLC and I'm putting it out there. No, that doesn't work for New York Times bestseller. New York Times bestseller, it has to be with a recognized, with a credible publishing house. Guess what? BOBM Publishing LLC is a fully credited, recognizable publishing house. So if you're going for the big boys, come holler at us. Right now, in order to build your audience, to generate those leads and get those numbers up to where you want to be, do a few things. One, stop just trying to sell to friends and family. The reason I say stop just trying to sell to friends and family, most of us have a limited number of friends and family. You're going to run out. And here's what's going to happen. You're going to ask some people and they'll say, oh my God, I would love to support you. I got you. How many copies can I buy? I got enough money to buy 5 from you right now. Right? Great. If you have those type of friends, cherish them, love them. Just like really love on them, because those are great friends. On the other side, you're going to have people that want to support you, but may not be financially able to support you, right? Their finances may be tied up with something different. So don't put it all on them. Add to your friends and family list. How you begin to build your friends and family list, or begin to build your email list. It's not about the number of people that you have on social media, right? Because you can have up to 5,000 friends on Facebook and you can have as many followers on your personal page. On your business page, you can have an infinite number of people following your business page. Begin to create content that generates people's interest in what it is that you do. If you know that your next book is going to be about success, talk about it, speak about it, preach about it, drop content about it over and over, but make sure that you can back it up. If you say that, I'm going to teach you how to become successful and make 7 figures, and you've never made 4, your credibility is somewhat shot. So make sure that you are dropping content based on what you know, and you can speak from a place of truth and transparency. Again, we're constantly going to go back to that. Truth and transparency. Be genuinely who you are, because you don't want to build a tribe based on who you're not, because it's only going to be fake followers, people that are following a fake image. And how long can you put up a fake image? Right. Now, when you are putting that content out, give them ways that they can join your email list. How? Freebies. Give them free content. Maybe you are writing a book about success and you've been successful. Why would you give them a free book about success? Because they want to read it. Somebody in your target market has pain and they're looking for ways to become more successful. And I'm only using success as one piece of it. Whatever your lane is, and it doesn't matter how niche your target is, somebody out there is looking for it. Just remember, there's a guy named JJ Icefish that has over 8 million streams on YouTube. Why? Because he has a niche. People enjoy, or yeah. If you look him up, you'll see what I mean. No shouts out to him. I salute the dude for being persistent. On the other hand, there's a lady on YouTube that eats ice. That's all she does is eats ice. She has over 1 million views. So if you think your niche is something that nobody's gonna be interested in, believe it or not, there's someone out there looking for whatever it is that you have. Be consistent. Give them something that is going to generate, or that's going to generate their interest. Your free guide to your 7 steps to becoming more successful. Once you have them in your email list, begin to start start sharing more content that's going to help them with what it is that they're trying to do. The more you share with them, guess what's going to happen? They have friends, they have family. They're going to say, man, you need to check out this person that's been talking about this same thing. I've been subscribed to their newsletter. I've been listening. I've been watching their Facebook every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. They go live and they share information about every time I look on YouTube, they have these amazing images. When I go to LinkedIn, they're on LinkedIn. When I go to Twitter, I see them dropping content. I've been following them for a few months now, and you need to follow them too. Your fans become your biggest allies. So drop consistent content once you have them on your email list and continue reaching out to them. Talk to them. Let them know, hey, here's some more information. I was doing some research and I thought about you. I thought about how can we help you become more successful. And here's what I came up with. Seven more steps. Here's what my next offer is. Oh, and by the way, my book is coming out on such and such day. You can pre-order. Keep your content so engaging and keep them engaged in what you're doing because they want to support you. They're rooting for you and they actually need you. So remember, if you are looking to become the next bestseller, a few things have to happen. Make sure, and again, I love this cover. That's why I keep going back to it again. Shout out to Wifey. Make sure that your cover is appealing. Make sure that you have something that tells them about the book, a little bit of about the authors, so that they know what's inside the book and they know who wrote it. On the inside of the book, make sure the content is informative, make sure that it's connecting, make sure that it's engaging, and make sure it speaks to the person that you want to read your book, right? Your views and opinions are your views and opinions, and there's somebody out there who's looking for exactly what it is that you have to share. Be consistent, be relevant, and engage with them. And also make sure that your social media matches who you are and what you are looking to do. And when you are getting ready to drop that book, invite them, because your friends and family don't always have the ability to support you, but those followers have been watching you and waiting for you and the information that you have so that they can support you. Now, listen, for those of you who are serious about taking it to the next level, again, humble brag, the last 225 authors that we've worked with have all went #1 on Amazon. We have the recipe, we have the blueprint. If you are ready to take your book to the next level and become the next Amazon best-selling, Amazon #1 best-selling author, reach out to us, www.bobmpublishing.com. That's been my time, y'all. I love you. There's nothing that you can do about it. No betrayal, no heartache, no nothing. I love you to the moon and beyond. And with that being said, I will see you guys next week. Love y'all.